Oh, my figurines, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
hello. We're live. Hello, Caroline.
Hello, I'm about to be interrupted. William's coming in.
Oh, is it?
Okay, see you later. Sorry.
That's all right, no worries. I'll say hello to Laura and Darrell, who are already here. Yeah, so today we were just going to talk about Avon and products that you like that are different makes and brands. I've been selling Avon for, I don't know, how long is it? It's not that long though, is it? Probably 8 months.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, I don't even think it's a year.
Time has taken on a whole new meaning now, hasn't it? It's all just weird time.
Yeah, exactly. It's all weird. So I'm really, really new to it. And I just thought I'd pick out some products that I found are really good sellers or that I've tried and I really like. And we'd just talk about it basically. So there's a couple more in. There's Nat's in and Carrie. Hello, Carrie.
Hello. Oh, that was a very high pitch. Hello.
I have put a link in the description box to my Avon shop. So if you use that link, I do earn a little bit of commission, just so you're aware. The offers change about every 3 weeks. So I don't really want to quote prices too much because literally it changes all the time. There's different offers and things. I'll give you a sort of ballpark price of what it is. But they do.
The prices are really good though, aren't they, overall?
Yeah, oh yeah, they're really, and they've got lots of offers and stuff, so there's always stuff to look at. Hello, Lainey, how are you?
Hi, Lainey.
Yeah, so shall we kick off straight away with something? Right, so this is a product which is, you know, what we're all about at the moment. Hand sanitizer. This one is 64% alcohol, so it isn't going to kill your coronavirus or anything. It is just a general hand sanitizer, so it does not, it is better than nothing, but it doesn't replace soap and water, but no sanitizers do. So it's a moisturizing one, and I've been using it. I found it's not too drying, you know, like some hand sanitizers are.
Yeah.
And it comes in 2 different sizes. This one's ideal to put in your bag, but this one I find is really handy. Like I have it just at my shop door, so that I can just like use it. And I suppose if you had it in your car or something like that, it would be useful, because sometimes these ones are, you're trying to get some out, you know. So those are the hand sanitizers from Avon. So the bigger one is 250 ml, and that is £3.50, and the 100 ml is £2.
That's a really good price, actually.
Yeah, and it's because it's moisturizing. I find it's not too strong smelling. Yeah, I've been really pleased with it. I've been using it for a few weeks now.
It's a new thing, isn't it? We've got one in a handbag, one in the car, one everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I have one literally just as we come in the house, because we have to sort of go through the shop to get up to the house. I'd rather use that just as we come in the door, so that we're not touching every door handle on the way up into the house, you know. So we use that and then wash our hands once we get into the house. So
I have got a Primark one. I like nice smelling ones. With this one, I've upgraded, although it's not past its sell-by date yet. It's not till 2024. Is that right?
Okay.
Blimey, that's a long time, isn't it? Yeah. It does. I was just looking there, when you said the percentage of alcohol, it doesn't say. Alcohol is the first ingredient, but it doesn't say the percentage, which is weird, is it?
Yeah. I think normally they would do.
But I bought another one this morning in Boots. That is from Sopa Duper. Oh God, I have to go the opposite way to the way I'm thinking, because that's odd, isn't it? Oh, look at that. And this one is lemon flavour, and it's also got jojoba oil inside it.
Jojoba.
Yeah. And it's actually really nice. You know, when you put it on and all the alcohol burns off or whatever it does, or what's the word? Not burns off. Evaporates. Thank you. It leaves like not an oily finish, but just you can feel a moisturising finish. However, that is £2.50 for 50 ml, so way more expensive than your one.
because the small one is £2 and that's 100 ml, so that's twice the quantity, isn't it? And this one's, a moisturizing one as well, so it doesn't have a lemony smell though.
I do like a lemony smell. This one's tropical twist, the other one, although I don't know. I'm just looking to see if that one's. This one says 99% naturally derived, vegan and cruelty free. But again, that doesn't say what the percentage is. I assume. I don't know. Anyway, it's nice.
Yeah, and all the Avon products have now got the bunny, the...
Yeah, Avon's been cruelty free for a long time, actually, hasn't it, I think?
Well, Avon haven't tested on animals for a long time, but they used to, I think, don't quote me on all of this because I'm not 100% sure, but I think because they used to supply some products to China, and then China would, because of their law system, would test on animals. Avon wasn't given the bunny certificate, but they have been awarded it now. So although they didn't test on animals themselves, I think that was the issue that was involved. Yeah. So I'm really pleased with that. I've been really happy with that. I'm actually buying some extra to sell in the shop. I'm hoping that people will like that product. So that was
with hand gel.
Yeah.
Sorry. Top tip with hand gel: don't leave it in your car, or don't leave it in your car and let it leak in your car, because it's an absolute bugger to get out.
Yeah. And I imagine that the big temperature changes isn't good for its consistency anyway, I would have thought.
No, I don't think it is. I hadn't thought of that there, but mine leaked inside the little compartment in between the seats, and I'd scrape it out with a knife. It goes really hard.
Does it really?
Yeah, horrible.
I wouldn't have expected that at all. But yeah, no, I'm really pleased with that. I'm just seeing if it says anything else. No, it just says flammable.
Are you going to have hand sanitizer out for your customers when you reopen the shop?
Yeah, I've set up a little table. I've been doing that today, putting all signs up and things. I've got a little table with one of these saying, please sanitize your hands before coming in, before walking around the shop. I don't know how much difference it's going to make, but I presume if I say this and then my signs say, please don't touch unless you're really considering buying, and all that sort of thing. And that's all I can do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the really hard thing. I've been out shopping a little bit this week and last week, not loads, but some. And your natural instinct all the time in shops is to pick stuff up, and to actually stop yourself from doing that is so unintuitive. It's really quite difficult to stop it.
And yet some people are totally oblivious to it. I mean, I was in Sainsbury's the other day, and a lady was in, and she'd obviously been up cleaning her horses because she was covered in horse muck, and she was at the reduced bread section. She picked up every single loaf to look at it, and I just thought, you've literally touched every single thing there, and there was no need for her to pick anything up that she didn't want to buy. It's just it's habit, isn't it? People have habits, don't they?
It is really hard to break.
Oh, there's a couple more people in. Buccaneer Beth, hello to you. And Carol Reeves is in too. Hello. Oh, and Nat.
Stop at myself sniffing hand candle. Yes.
Just without your hands. Just head first. I would imagine some products, I mean, even like makeup and stuff, I mean, some products are virtually impossible to buy without picking up, aren't they? Because you need to look at the colours and stuff, don't you? It's
I
really
was
hard
this morning, and it said that I just walked through the makeup as you do, and there's big signs everywhere saying they've removed all the testers and please don't open it. I mean, not that you should open any products anyway, regardless of coronavirus. But they hadn't actually removed all the testers at all. They were all still there, which seemed a bit odd.
right.
Because I don't think I've fancy trying a lipstick at the moment.
No. Although in some ways, if they've got like tester eyeshadows open so you can see the colours, that would make sense if you could trust people not to touch them.
Yeah.
If you could trust people not to, to have some common sense.
Mm.
Hi, Joan. Yeah. So that was that product. And then to follow up with the next one then. Okay, so hand cream. Is that all right? Next one? Do we do that one first?
No.
Avon do loads and loads of different hand creams. This one, the coconut one, is the most popular one that I've sold. It is really nice. It's got that usual coconutty smell, which always makes you feel like you're on holiday, doesn't it?
It's the closest we're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've tried that one, and I've also tried this one, which is a concentrated hand balm with glycerin and jojoba, jojoba oil. Protects and repairs for extremely dry skin. Now, this one is really nice, but it is a little bit greasy, so it's more like you put it on before you go to bed, sort of thing. That one, and they're all 75 ml, and they're all £2 each.
That's a good price.
Yeah. So they do, and then they do others as well, but that's those. So they do an age restore one, a rose water and shea butter, glycerin one, yogurt and honey, the coconut one, avocado one, the concentrated one, and then they also do one that's £2.50. It's a little bit more expensive, which is called silicone glove, which I'm not quite sure what that is. Whether that's, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what that is. I'd have to look more into that. But
yeah,
as you can see, there's like about 6 different flavours, shall we say, fragrances or whatever.
Yogurt and honey sounds nice.
Yeah, and they're all £2 each, which isn't bad. Yeah. Yeah, and that coconut one is really nice, and it's, it just leaves your hands just perfect. It's that perfect amount of moisture without being too greasy.
I've got this one, which makes me laugh, because how do they get away with calling a hand cream hand relief? They've had it for years, haven't they? It's Avon, and it's cherry almond. Cherry is one of my favourite scents, and it's just lovely, but it is expensive. This was part of a gift, so I don't know how expensive it was, but it's probably more than I would pay for a hand cream, but it smells bloody lovely. Do you want to smell it?
Oh, yeah. And has it got that? My only thing with Aveda products is that they have like an earthy smell. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes, I do.
They
yes,
do have
got that smell underneath the cherry almond.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. I don't know if it's like herbs or something, but it's a definite kind of like earthy smell that they have.
Sort of smell, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that with Aveda products, because my family's from Germany, and often at Christmas they'd send Aveda products, and it's all in German, so half the time I didn't even know what it was. So I'm just like trying to work out what this product is that I've been given. But yeah, they're all natural, aren't they?
Yeah, I think if you don't like that sort of botanical thing, it probably wouldn't be for you. But it's a treat product, really, for me, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've always used hand creams because I've always got dry hands, so I've always got one on the go somewhere.
Yeah, hands. I've always got one in my handbag, one on my desk, and one by my bed.
Yeah, because the other one that's is it L'Occitane? They supposedly really good, but I find those a bit too greasy for me, because otherwise you sort of have to do that whole drying off for a little bit before you can do anything.
They have a lot of shea butter in, don't they? Quite a high percentage of it, which I think is a nice product, and it's very softening, but it does make it greasy.
Yeah, I'm just looking if it gives you the ingredients in this thing. It's tiny, so I might struggle to read it. Suitable for hands, nails, and cuticles. Rub into hands. There's the. Oh, here we go. Aqua, glyceryl stearate, paraffin, liquid glycerin. No, coconut oil. Yeah, all the stuff we don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is it. At £2, can't go wrong, can you? A decent product. One of the other products that I showed you, which I said I really, really like, is this one. It's called 7-in-1 nail treatment. I did wonder what the 7 things were, so I did look it up before we came on, because I was like, what's the 7 things? So it says it covers imperfections, fills ridges, it's a UV filter, so it stops the yellowing, it protects, it restores vitamin C and E, it strengthens, and it acts as a base coat.
Oh, it's basically a miracle in a bottle.
Absolutely. It's got a sort of pinky, this is where I go wrong, a pinky tone to it, but when you put it on, it's clear.
Yeah.
But what I found was, at one point my nails were splitting, and you could see like the splits in it, and I used this, and it just seemed to hold it all together and hold it stronger, and it let them grow out without splitting too far and all that sort of thing. I really, really like it.
Well, that's quite interesting, because I've got this one nail, not sticking the middle finger up at you, it just splits all the time in the same place. I'll just grow it out and then it will split again.
Yeah.
It's obviously got a weakness. I can actually see where the line all the way down it, where I am, when I put it's just not good.
Yeah. No, I'm not, I mean, I love coloured nail varnish, but I'm not very good, because I'm always washing up and washing products and stuff like that, so it never lasts very long. And my nails often look a mess, when you're cleaning brass and all that sort of stuff. But this really, I was there. I'll get it right in a minute. Yeah, this stuff, I was really impressed. And if it does,
do you just put one coat on, or do you keep? Because there's an OPI one, isn't there, that you put on every day, and then when you've got 7 coats on, you take it off and start again on the 7th day.
Oh no, I just use one coat of it. And it seems to last a few days, and then I'll clean it off and do it again. But it doesn't, when you clean it off, with normal nail varnish, my nails are often worse underneath.
Yeah.
Whereas this doesn't, and obviously you can use it as a base coat, but I just use it on its own, and it just literally just makes it so that they're not splitting and everything.
Yeah. I have got this one, CND Rescue Keratin, what's it called? Rescue RX Repair and Conditioning Daily Keratin Treatment. What a bloody mouthful.
Yeah.
And it's a little brush thing, and you twist the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's like an oily thing, so I just do my nails with it night and morning and rub it in to my nails and all around my nails.
So it's not actually like a nail varnish itself, it's more
it's more a treatment than a nail varnish, but I can't tell you if it's working well or not yet, because I've only had it for about a week.
Right. Well, that'd be interesting to know, because mine get really, I don't know if it's dry and they sort of split and just haven't got much strength to them at all.
I have terrible nails, really, really, really bad. Nothing has ever really made them much better.
No. But I've tried taking like supplements and all sorts, and it doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, I took a supplement, can't remember what it was called, Nails Plus or something, from Holland and Barrett, and all it did was make my hair grow twice the speed, did nothing to my nails, and it cost me a bloody fortune in haircuts, so I stopped taking that.
I can't say I noticed my hair growing any faster, but it certainly didn't make any difference to my nails. So
I can't wait to have a haircut.
Oh, tell me. I've had to put my hair up today because it just looks so awful. It's just flat on the top. It's just
I have got it up. My hair's been for about 5 years.
Well, I've got this dress that I've got on today. It's got like a cutout bit on the back. And I was walking up the stairs and I was thinking, oh, something's really tickling my back like that. And then I realised it was my hair. I was like, what's going on? My hair's right down my back. So, yeah, I've got it.
Tigers on your dress?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. I've had it about 10 years with this dress. It's great. Yeah, so I've got my hair appointment booked for the 20th of July.
Is it?
Yeah. So, by end of June, I'm going to have to start wearing hats, I think.
20th of July, that's bloody ages.
I know, my hairdresser's very popular because she just works on her own, and she just, yeah. I saw her a few weeks ago and she went, "Do you want to book?" Because at that point I'd just cancelled my appointment back in March or whenever it was. And so a couple of weeks ago she went, "Do you want to book? Because I'm getting booked up already." I went, "Oh yeah, please." So she messaged me back, "I think you're on the 20th of July." And I was like, "Oh God, yes, please."
Well, that's like nearly the end of summer, isn't it?
I know. Just think of the money we've saved though.
Well, yeah. There is that.
You usually colour your hair yourself though anyway, don't you?
I go to the hairdressers once a year and have a full head of highlights, and then I colour it myself the rest of the year.
I've never coloured my hair, so I don't do it. It would go horribly wrong. I know it. So
you'd be surprised. It would be fine.
Oh, don't know. Anywho, so we've done 3, haven't we? 3 of the products. So what was next? Oh, the primer. So I haven't actually used this product myself, but this is one of the best-selling products that I've, in my short time of selling Avon, this is sold really, really well. So it's called, Mark is the brand name of that particular brand of makeup that they do, Magic Face Perfector SPF 20. So it's a primer, but it's got the SPF in it as well. And one of my best friends uses it, and she said it's really nice. She said it goes on really light and smooth, really good sort of base for makeup. And obviously it's got that bonus of having the SPF in.
Yeah, that is good. How much is that one?
So that's £8 for 30 ml. So it's not a huge tube.
That's standard size for primers though, isn't it?
Pardon?
Standard size for primers, 30, I think.
Yeah, I would have thought so. So yeah, but I think that's quite a good price, isn't it? £8 for a primer.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Avon website, it's got some really good reviews. A lot of people really, really rate it. So that is one I'm actually going to try, because at the moment I've just been using BB cream, but it hasn't got any SPF in it. So that is something that I definitely want to give it a go.
Yeah.
How about you?
Primer, I've got this Too Faced one at the moment, which I've nearly finished, which has been a great disappointment.
Oh.
Maybe I'll try your one.
What brand is that then? Did you say?
Too Faced. I think I bought this when I was shopping with you, actually, in Exeter, possibly.
Oh, right. I don't remember it.
No, it's very forgettable. And I've also just noticed, cheeky buggers, this, despite having a massive lid, this is only 20 mils, and it wasn't cheap. Too Faced isn't a particularly cheap brand.
Right.
So, yeah, you've got this blooming great big pump on the top, and then not much product, although I don't want any more product. And it's meant to smell of peaches. And first I thought it did, then I thought it didn't. It's sort of peachy coloured. No, it doesn't smell of anything to me. I mean, it's not unpleasant to use. It's okay. I don't know really if it holds my makeup on or not. But I wanted it to smell of peaches, and I think that's why I don't like it, because it doesn't. No,
I'm just going to see if this smells of anything, but
it says it's infused with peach and sweet fig cream. Whatever sweet fig cream is.
To be honest, I don't think this smells of anything really. And I've just put that coconut hand cream on, so I can't really do much else apart from that. We haven't really looked at the chat and see if anybody else has got anything to say about this.
Mentioned about a hand cream that she had, O'Keeffe's Working Hands, which is meant to be for really dry hands. I've heard people mentioning, recommending that on the internet.
Yeah, I've heard of that as well. And Joan says she never goes to the hairdresser, always cuts and highlights her hair herself. It shows. I'm sure you're doing a fantastic job. My mum always cuts her own hair. So she's been fine during this lockdown. Just carry on as you go on. And I'm saying that my best friend, she cut her own hair and it looks great. But I wouldn't dare, because I know that I would make an absolute. My daughter, when I've told this story before, I don't know if I've told you, but when we were coming to move to Devon, so the kids were little, and my daughter wasn't even 2 yet, and she needed her fringe cut in. So she was in the bath and I thought, well, I'll cut her fringe because then all the bits will just, it won't be in the house. So I got the scissors, and just as I cut her fringe, she moved, so like turned her head, and she ended up with a fringe like this, like going up like that. And I was mortified. And I remember phoning my mum and saying, "Oh, Mum, oh no, I've cut Katie's hair. It looks awful. It's all at an angle." And she said, "It doesn't matter, it'll grow." And I said, "Yeah, but we're moving house and all the people will think we're like half-wits or something." I was absolutely mortified. And then I told Katie the story, and of course, since then, she won't let me cut her hair. So.
Oh no.
Lainey says, "I'd like something that thickened my hair. I tried LV thickening shampoo that used to do it, but I ended up with really bad split ends. And a hairdresser told me that it's jumped, that those shampoos were not good."
Oh, Lainey, I have the same problem. I would love something that made my hair thicker. I've got a lot of hair, but it's really fine. And I've tried all sorts over the years and never really found anything that does much.
No, I think we use the LV product as well, a thickening one. I do like it as a shampoo, but is it not good for your hair? It's so confusing, isn't it? My daughter is constantly going, "We need to buy this shampoo, or we need to buy that shampoo," but there's so many different products all doing different things. I don't know which is right.
They're probably all doing nothing, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes I try to have Vosine in, and just every now and again I just wash with Vosine, and it feels like really properly cleans it all out,
Yeah, it's good to do a proper, I've got a Tony and Guy, I think, detox shampoo. Does the same thing. Probably 4 times the price of Vosine, but it does feel nice to do that. I think there's a lot of product build-up that shampoo doesn't always get out.
And Vosine doesn't have the nicest smell. Again, that's just a very sort of medicated smell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Carrie says, "My hair is so thick, I have my own head blanket."
You don't have hat in the winter at the car boot then, Kerry? What car boot, we might say.
Yeah, if ever we get back there, eh?
Well, at least 2 aren't reopening, Exeter Racecourse and the Cat and Fiddle one.
They are opening?
No, they're not.
No. I looked and at the Exeter Racecourse one, and it said that they're not opening for the time being because they can't guarantee people's safety.
To be honest, it gets so mentally busy up there that I wouldn't go there even if they were opening. I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, but I think it's the same at a lot of them, isn't it? I don't see how they're going to make it safe.
The Little Thursday one is quite a quiet one. That's far more laid back, and I thought that one might restart, but maybe not.
No, I tried looking and it didn't seem to be starting up. And then I haven't
replied.
I tried to look up the Matford one, but I couldn't see anything about that. They don't seem to have their own website or anything. I couldn't see any information about it, so it doesn't look like that one's starting either. The one that I always like is Axminster. I really like that one, but you need good weather. Do you know what I mean?
That's an afternoon one, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think afternoon ones are busier, although that may be because I go to morning ones really early.
Yeah,
afternoon ones are busier as soon as they start, aren't they?
Yeah, but then they sort of tail. I think they're all the same. To be fair, I think they're. I mean, I've been to the early morning ones, and you get that mad rush as they let you in. It's a bit crazy, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. See what anybody else is saying. I've missed some. I'm trying to click back, but it keeps jumping back up again.
Mandy Russell has just been on a Zoom speed awareness course. God, that must be worse than a normal one, Mandy.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine that they would do that.
I can't tell you off for looking at your phone. I got told off for looking at my phone last time I went to a speed awareness course. They couldn't see what you were doing under the screen.
You could just have a photo up, couldn't you? Just go off
the whole of this week's EastEnders while they did it.
Lainey says, curling is the best option for me as it adds volume, but it's a faff for every day.
Yeah, it is. I like mine. I curled mine recently, just once. It was lovely, but that was only the sides and the front bit. I didn't even get all the way around the back, and I just took so long.
Did you keep that curly thing, whatever it was called?
Yeah, I've had it for ages. Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought you'd bought a new product recently. I couldn't remember what it was. Was it a hairdryer or something? Something.
No, I've had my hairdryer for about 15 years.
Oh, I don't know. I maybe imagined it.
I think I talking about, I think I've talked about a new thing. I did curl my hair with something that I hadn't used before, but I had used it, but I've had it a long time, so I didn't actually buy it. So that could be it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking of. My hairdresser said she'd bought one of those, is it Dyson? Did the hair ones that were sucked onto the thing? And she said it was really disappointing. She sent it back. She said it wasn't.
I've seen a lot of people say that they've bought it from QVC and sent it back on the guarantee. It's so much money, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, she said for the money, it just wasn't worth it at all. So, and that's coming from a hairdresser who knows what they're doing. You know, if you haven't got a chance of trying to get me to work out how to put anything like that in.
That's why I liked that curling thing that I had, because you literally had to put your hair into it and it sucked it in, curled it and spat it out itself.
I mean, as a youngster, when I was younger, I had really deadly straight hair and you couldn't curl it because it literally wouldn't curl. Do you know what I mean? As in, you tried to put it round something, but it would just spring off.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 40, my hair just naturally went curly for some reason. Bizarrely.
Yeah. How weird.
I know, it's very odd, but I had deadly straight hair until I was about 40. And Nat says, my best car boot is in hospital car park, so definitely not reopening. No.
Yeah, definitely not that.
Yeah, ours aren't opening. Lainey says, I haven't used big rollers before, the thin bendy ones years ago, but usually just use a tongue or Laura curls it with straighteners, which I can't do. You always like the idea of having like big rollers in, leaving it for hours, taking it out, and then having lovely voluptuous, is that a word? I just made that up. Lovely big curls, but I can't, I've got no patience for any of it. So yeah, no, that Dyson one has not got good reviews. Okay, so the final product that I was going to talk about was this lip balm, I suppose you want to call it. It's called the a new lip plumping conditioner. Now this one's a colourless one, and this one it's nearly all gone. You can see it's nearly all gone. But they do come in 3 different colours as well, so you can get it. And I've used the same lip balm for years and years and years. I used the Labello, which is like Nivea, but you can only get it in Europe and stuff. You can't get the Labello one in England for some reason. Yeah. So I've always had my German family have shipped it over for me because I really, really rated it. But this has taken over from my Labello. So but it is a bit more expensive. This one is £8. So it's not cheap for a lip balm. Do you know what I mean? But I just really like it. It's really rich.
Does it plump your lips, though?
Pardon?
Does it plump your lips?
I don't know if it plumps them, but it feels really good. And then, you know, when you use normal lip balms, they're a little bit greasy. This is less greasy, so it feels more like a lipstick. And it seems to last for hours and hours, you know.
Oh, that's good.
The moisture lasts for hours and hours. So I really, really like this. And as I say, you can get coloured, like, I think they do 3 colours. So they do honey tint, berry tint, and rose tint. I can show you in the book. But I'm not a lipstick fan. I never been one for lipstick. So gives you an idea of the colours there. So can you see that? So there's a brownie sort of ready and a pinky one.
Oh, they're nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to one of those.
But so £8, it's not the cheapest of sort of lip balm things, but I really, really rate it. and I've already ordered myself a new one. So, yeah.
Must be good then.
Yeah, absolutely. So what have you got?
I've got Carmex, which is my favourite that I've used for years and years. However, I don't really like it in a pot. I am trying to get away from pots that you dip your finger into for everything. And you know what? I'm finding it really hard to find moisturisers that I like that are not in pots you dip your fingers into.
Oh, yeah.
Really struggled with that. I don't want to have anything that I dip my finger into, but you can get this in stick form, but I just like the original classic one, and I buy it all the time and I love it.
Yeah, because I've found that with lip salve, something that I've always used and always do is, you know, even on a day when I'm not doing it and making it, I can't not wear lip salve. It's just what I've always done. But going back to the moisturizer thing, how else would you do it? Like a hand pump thing, you mean? When you say you don't want to dip your finger.
Yeah, like a tube like that, or anything where I don't have a jar that I have to dip my finger into. I suppose my nighttime moisturiser and my daytime one at the moment are jars that I dip my finger into. Just not even, I mean, generally I do my skincare last thing at night after I've washed my hands anyway, but it would just be less unhygienic, wouldn't it, to have a pump or whatever?
Yeah. I think I had one in one of those in the Marks and Spencer's thing, but I can't remember what it was, and that was in a tube. But that might have just been a tube for the small Advent thing, you know.
Yeah.
I'd have to have a look what make it is. But I think even all the Avon moisturizers, they're all pots. I can't think of anything that's not.
I wonder why. Do you think it's a marketing thing? Do you think people prefer to buy their? Does it look more expensive in a tub? Maybe.
I think that's always in their mindset, isn't it? That it's that's how it comes. But also, is it thicker? So is it more difficult to get it out? No, it's not really thicker, is it?
No.
I don't know.
Night creams are, aren't they? I don't know.
I think it probably is just a marketing thing.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Something in a tub feels more.
Yeah.
Yeah, just feels more.
Often with nice moisturizer, even if they're not expensive, they come in like a ceramic or a glass tub, don't they?
Yeah.
And it just feels, you know, you pick it up, it feels solid and reliable, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm just having a quick look through the Avon, but all the moisturizers, you're right, they're all in tubs and pots.
Yeah, and there was a Darren's one that I liked that was also in a pot.
Yeah. I've always liked the L'Oreal Revitalift or something like that. It's called. I've always liked that one.
That's in a pot as well.
Yeah. No, all the L'Oreal ones I think are. They do.
The Superdrug one, that one is as well. The B range.
There's a couple of moisturizers actually that are in tubes, but they don't tend to be just your standard ones. So they do a wake up cream, which that's SPF 25, and I assume that's just like a moisturizer because underneath it says a sleep cream, which I guess is the night cream.
The posh man day cream and night cream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cream.
And then they do an anti-pollution one, which again that one comes in a tube. That's an SPF 50. Wow,
that's good.
Yeah, but as most of them are all in tubs, so we'll have to go on the lookout when we're allowed to go shopping again. We will have to go and have a little look.
Yeah, we've got lots of recommendations in the chat here.
Oh, let's have a look then. Best moisturizer I've ever used. This is Joan, and I've tried so many. In my opinion, is E45 moisturizing lotion. I've never been that keen on E45, if I'm honest.
I like something with a nice smell, you say, which I know is bad, isn't it, in skincare, but I do quite enjoy a bit of fragrance in my skincare.
Yeah. I found that I used to have quite sensitive skin, so I had to be really careful what moisturizer I used because some of them would bring me out in eczema. And I found that the L'Oreal one, generally L'Oreal products I'm okay with, so I tend to sort of stick with those. Although I tried the Avon and new ones, and it was fine. Everything was fine. It didn't bring me out in eczema, but I didn't find it as moisturising as the L'Oreal one. So I have gone back to L'Oreal, if I'm honest. But it is a bit more expensive than the Avon. So it's that, you know, swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
L'Oreal is always more expensive than I think it's going to be. I think their skincare ranges are sort of heading towards not quite drugstore prices. In fact, they are beyond drugstore prices, really.
I mean, like, I think a standard price for a L'Oreal is about 15 quid, something like that, for the moisturiser. But I never buy it when it's full price. I always look out for offers. And sometimes, I know online you can sometimes find sites where it's cheaper and things like that. So,
yeah, that's true. Carrie bought Tesco aloe vera moisturiser, cheap but in a squeezy bottle. Oh, that's good. Perhaps I'll try that one. And Zoe says vitamin E. Oh, I like the Superdrug vitamin E cream.
I haven't tried that.
I don't think I've tried their cream. I think I've tried the vitamin E. Maybe it was their moisturiser. Oh, I'll have a look at that one. Superdrug website is really, my local Superdrug was open and then it closed halfway through lockdown. And their website seems to be out of stock of every single thing I go and look for on it.
Yeah, I'm finding some websites really hard to negotiate at the moment. I don't know whether it's because they're getting more footfall as such than they would do normally, but some things are really confusing.
Yeah.
Clinique has a pump. Yeah, Clinique, I used to buy the, it was yellow, but I think it was more of a bottle than a pump. It was just
dramatically different moisturising lotion.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, the yellow one.
Yeah, it was all right, but it wasn't worth the Clinique price, I don't think.
Aveno, Lainey is recommending. I think I had an Aveno hand cream once, but I don't think I've ever used anything else of theirs.
Is Aveno just a brand on its own, or is that connected to a particular shop or something?
No, I think it's just a brand. I think they have it in Wilko's, I think, and other places, but I happened to see it in Wilko's recently.
Right. I remember when I first started wearing moisturiser, I was about 15, and I think I just used my mum's, and she used to have this one from Boots called, it was marshmallow, and it was something like rose water and marshmallow or something like that. And
that sounds nice.
Oh, it was beautiful. I used to love it. And then they stopped making it, you know, when I was like about 18 or something. I was gutted because I loved it. It comes in a mist spray too. This is Zoe. What comes in the mist spray?
Oh, the vitamin E cream.
Ah, yeah. What's vitamin E
sprays? I got this one last week, and this is my new favourite thing. It's bloody lovely. I always keep a face spray on my desk, and it's Elf Hydrating Coconut Mist, and it's like spraying your face with a holiday. It really is nice. Recommend.
So what do you, I mean, I've never used a face spray. What would you do? What's the point of it?
Just refreshing. I don't think it does an awful lot. It says it hydrates skin and refreshes makeup. Well, I think it probably hydrates your skin a little bit. It's got hyaluronic acid in it, which is a good ingredient, and vitamin E apparently. I just think it's nice and refreshing, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
And it was cheap. It wasn't very expensive at all, that one.
I always have to be careful putting moisture on my face because that's what brings out my eczema patches. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always very conscious of not putting too much stuff on my face.
God, I just put my glass on. I can see how filthy my screen is now. Do you want me to tell you what it says? This lightweight mist hydrates the skin and refreshes makeup with an invigorating coconut scent perfect to start or end your day, or even for a midday refresher. It's not a bloody gin and tonic. Calm down, marketing department. Enriched with coconut and vitamin E to nourish the skin. It's nice, but yeah, not as good as a gin and tonic.
I think you've just made me think about gin and tonic now. This is a problem. It's only 3:15. I'm like,
so let's talk about gin now.
That's the only thing I've learnt during lockdown is that I actually like gin. I never used to think I liked it, and I've learnt a new skill, drinking gin. But
is a new skill for you these days.
Yeah, I hadn't been drinking for about a year before that. So pink gin is the ones we're using. The Gordon's pink gin, which is like raspberry strawberry mix, and then the last one we got is just strawberry. Is it Beefeater? Do they do gin?
Yes, they do gin. I don't know what flavours they do.
Yeah, strawberry Beefeater gin. That's nice. But they have a limited choice in our Sainsbury's, so that's all the ones we've tried. Oh, we had rhubarb and ginger one as well.
Have you got Aldi?
Not too far.
They've got. There's the one in Honiton, isn't there?
Yeah,
that's quite close to you. Well, yeah. They've got amazing gins in there. I got peach blossom and something last week, and it's lovely.
And that's a proper gin, isn't it? Because I nearly by mistake picked up gin liqueur, and I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, hang on, I'll go and get it and show you. 2 secs.
Yeah, G&T mist spray might be something. We should patent it and set it off, only to be used after 3 o'clock. Boots Witch Hazel range is good for sensitive skin. So I'll have to have another look. I mean, I've just found that L'Oreal worked for me, so I stuck with it, because the last thing you want is big patches of eczema all over your face.
That one's the nice one from Aldi, peach and orange blossom.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. And that's not gin liqueur, is it? That's like gin.
No, it's 37.5 volume.
So what is gin liqueur? Do you know
this thing that looks like bloody bubble bath. I can be rude now because he's not here, that my son bought me for Christmas.
Yeah.
Bless them. Is gin liqueur. The difference is basically the alcohol volume. 20% in this one. And it tastes like piss. Sorry. It looks lovely though. It's got a lovely label. It smells it. It's very, very sweet. But yeah, you wouldn't want to drink it with tonic or anything.
No, because I'd gone to Sainsbury's to look at different flavours, and they had this stand with all these different flavours, and I was like, oh, I could try different ones, and then realised that they were gin liqueurs and not gin. Yeah. So I really wanted to try like a lemony one. I fancy a lemon.
A nice, is it? I think it's Hendrix do a lemony one. I've got a few, which is very nice. But Aldi had all sorts. They had a rhubarb one that I quite fancied in the same range as this one.
I love rhubarb.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm agreeing. I don't like rhubarb, but I like the flavour of it in a drink.
I love rhubarb. It's one of my favourite things. But we had the rhubarb and ginger one, but I'm not a big fan of ginger. So that was like, love rhubarb, but don't like ginger. So
you got through quite a lot of gin this lockdown, Kirsten.
Well, not just me. Not on my own. So preferred mixer with gin. Mine would be bitter lemon every time. So would you generally just have tonic with gin, wouldn't you? You wouldn't mix it with anything else?
No, probably not. Although I showed him my weekly vlog last week. I had some mini cans of blackberry and mint lemonade from Tesco's own brand. And somebody in the comments said it made a lovely mixer for gin, but just normal unflavoured gin, I assume. I guess that would be really nice, actually.
Yeah, I suppose if you put the flavour in the mixer rather than the flavour in gin.
Yeah, rather than tonic. I thought that was an interesting way around of doing it.
Yeah. I like elderflower cordial to mix with what?
Gin.
Gin. And Daryl says, slight change of subject. Have the chili powder nuts worked yet, Mrs. M?
Mr. M wouldn't let me put chili powder on the squirrel's nuts.
Oh, is it?
I did tell him about it, Daryl, and yeah, he wasn't having any of it. He likes the squirrel. He wants to feed the squirrel. Do you know, I read about squirrels the other day. They can apparently have 1,000 different caches of nuts.
Really?
At any one time. How they remember where they are. They've only got the brain of the size of a bloody grape. Smallish grape at that, I would think.
My mum had a problem with squirrels when she lived in her last house. They got into the roof and started chewing at wires and all sorts of stuff. And she would be out in the garden with a mop and stuff, chasing them away. So you'd go around to visit and she'd go, squirrel! And she'd run out in the garden shouting at the squirrels. Lisa says, Gordon's Sicilian lemon gin is lush. Yeah, I think our supermarket's not very big, and so they don't have a big choice. So I'm definitely, when I get a chance, going to try some different flavours.
You see, there's a marketing thing. That's interesting, isn't it? Gordon's lemon gin sounds nice, but Gordon's Sicilian lemon gin sounds delightful, doesn't it? Just that one. It makes me think about sunshine and blue sky and lemon groves.
Exactly.
Picture in my head.
Yeah, we've been conditioned for advertising, haven't we?
Well, the lemons probably don't come from anywhere near Sicily, but it's very evocative of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carrie says Prosecco can't do gin. Well, I never drank gin before. I didn't like it at all, and it's only been since lockdown that I've discovered pink gin with tonic, and I can't do Prosecco because I've learnt my lesson with Prosecco. Me and Prosecco, we don't do well together. Just so I shall no longer be going anywhere near the Prosecco.
So. A story you want to tell us or not?
No, probably too many stories that I don't need to tell anybody. Lainey says, a few weeks ago I did have an Echo Falls summer berries vodka with pure orange and lemonade. It was bloody lovely.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I've always liked vodka.
You see, berry vodka, nice. Summer berry vodka.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all in the marketing.
It really is.
But gin's the big thing now, isn't it?
Sure.
The gin, you go into like swanky bars, or well, we went into swanky bars, you know.
Sorry, what's a bar? I don't remember that.
Oh, they'd have shelves and shelves of all the different gins, you know, all the different flavoured gins, don't they?
Yeah, the place we went to for Ashley's Christmas do at work, when there were still things like hotels and pubs and going out for a meal.
I know.
It was a pub right on the middle of Dartmoor, like a pub with rooms type thing, right on the middle of Dartmoor, and it had this gin menu that was about 3 sheets of A4. It was insane.
Yeah.
Who's got a gin menu now?
No, I mean, they used to just have cocktail menus, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, it's gin, isn't it? We went to, in Guernsey, I don't know, it must have been about 3 years ago, and we stayed in a really nice hotel in Guernsey, and the cocktail menu was amazing, and we went with a friend and my husband, and I left them in the bar. We had a cocktail each. I had a mojito, and I think they had what's the coffee one? Martini. Yeah, they each had one of those. And I said, I'm going to go and have a lay on the bed because we'd been up since 5 in the morning. I said, I'm just going to have a lie down. I'll come back in a bit. Anyway, it got to like 7 o'clock and I hadn't seen Darren, so he hadn't been back. And I went down to the bar and they'd been drinking cocktails all afternoon. It was so messy, honestly. And I had to get that, and we'd booked into this restaurant, a Michelin-starred restaurant, to go and have a meal. And I had to get them both to this restaurant across town, sort of thing. And it was such a job because they were both doing that 1 step forward, 3 steps back thing. Like 2 of them. So I'm like trying to drag them to this restaurant. And we got to this restaurant. I shouldn't be telling you this story, should I? we got to this restaurant, we sat down, and it was packed. It was absolutely packed. And they both ordered lobster and steaks or something, I don't know. And they were talking really loudly. And then they kept asking the waiter about, can you eat this bit of the lobster? And they were shouting like this. And I was just sitting there like, oh, God, the world was swallowing me up. It was interesting. Luckily, we managed to get a taxi back. I didn't have to drag them all the way back to the hotel afterwards either.
Did they have a hangover?
Yeah, they were both feeling a little bit jaded the next day.
Good.
But that's what cocktails does to you.
Yeah, they can be lethal, can't they? I won't tell you my rum punch story.
Oh, well, punch is a whole different thing, isn't it? Because that's just a random collection of the dregs, isn't it, of somebody's cupboard.
This was in a hotel, actually, but yeah, I'll save that story for another time. Not on the internet.
We went when we went on our cruise a few years ago, and the first day we stopped, moored. We were at this island called Bakia in the Caribbean, and they had to. It was only a tiny island, so you had to get the what do they call it when they transfer you onto a little boat to take the tenders? Yeah, so the tenders take you across, and I'd researched it, and you could walk sort of over this sort of cliff top to a little cove with a beach and things. So we did that. And it was just absolutely picturesque, what you expect for a Caribbean deserted island. It was so nice. And there was this woman called Laura who'd made her own rum punch. And it was in like plastic canisters that you almost put petrol in. Served in
rum punch.
Yeah. So it was a bit dubious, but it was quite strong.
Did you buy a whole gallon?
No, just had a one or two, and that was enough.
That's next to Mustique, isn't it? Sister island of Mustique, Bakia.
I don't know, to be honest. It was gorgeous. That was the first stop, and that was my favourite one, to be honest. Lainey says, I normally drink port and lemonade with cherries on a cocktail stick and an umbrella in it to make it look more fancy. Yeah, well, whatever we can do.
Fancy.
And Carrie says Salcombe Harbour Hotel had an extensive gin menu when we stayed there, but wasn't brave enough to try gin again. I think if you're going to try gin, try a pink one, because it's got that sort of more fruity flavour, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the way to get back into gin, isn't it? If you've had a nasty experience, because it's not too. And maybe drink it with. That's the other thing you can drink it with, lemonade, gin and lemonade.
Oh really? You see, I wondered about that.
Yeah. Mandy says Long Island iced tea. Oh God, it doesn't even taste nice, does it, Mandy? It's just I
love Long Island iced tea.
Really? I think I'm not a massive fan of Coca-Cola in alcoholic drinks. I love Coke, but by itself, not with alcohol. So that could be why.
I liked when we went to Tenerife for my 40th birthday. We had a lot of cocktails, but my favourites were the daiquiris, I think they were, and they were made almost like sorbets. So you'd have like a lemon daiquiri, and it would be almost like a sorbet. It was like, oh, so nice.
An alcoholic sorbet. What could be nicer?
Exactly. But yeah, and pina coladas and Long Island iced teas and mojitos, and oh, it's just lovely.
It was always nice, lovely and refreshing.
Which one, sorry?
Mojito is always nice, a good one, yeah.
Well, in Cozy Club, they do nice raspberry mojitos as well, don't they?
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, one day we'll be able to go back to the Cozy Club, Kirsten.
Yeah. One day we'll be able to do anything.
Yeah. We'll be able to go to the big city of Exeter and go to the shops and have a drink and go for something to eat.
Do you think it will just get back to normal?
I think social distancing will last until they get a vaccination, won't it?
Yeah.
I guess, which could be years.
It's weird, isn't it? Because then you wonder how long certain businesses are going to survive, and then what's going to be the outcome at the end. It's just...
Yeah, there's a little tea shop next to, next door but two to Ashley's office, and it's always full of, it's directly opposite the local doctor's surgery, and it's always full of elderly people. It's run by one guy, Ross, who's lovely, and they're all homemade cakes and tea. That's what he does. Doesn't do lunches or anything. It's just tea and cakes and coffee. And he does amazing trade, but it's tiny and all the tables are close together. And if he has to put tables 2 meters apart, it will kill him. Also, people maybe not going out so much.
And the older generation are the ones that are being told to shelter more than anyone, aren't they? So yeah, no, it's going to be strange times, isn't it? And see how things will evolve, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it will. It's it feels like there's little bits of normal coming back, but I think supermarkets are going to carry on as they are, aren't they, with the social distancing and the queuing? I can't see that changing.
You see, our supermarket is no different to normal, really. There's no queuing system. The only thing that's different is they've got some spray you can put on your trolley once you get in, but then you've already touched your trolley. This doesn't quite make sense, but anyway, that is there. And then at the till, they've got some markers to say stay so far, and then they've got some plastic, like sneeze guard things up. But apart from that, it's no different to normal. It's
so as many people can go in as they want. There's
nobody controlling it, so I think so. I don't. But then because I can see the car park, I only ever go when the car park's not too busy. And
right. So yeah, that might be.
Yeah, it might be. There might be that somebody comes out and starts controlling people coming in if it gets too busy. But I haven't left Ottery. I went to my friend's a couple of times who lives in the next village, but I've not been outside of Ottery in 12 weeks or something. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. It's bizarre. I've just not. I just can't even imagine driving my van now.
I've been to my parents, but other than that, I haven't been out of town really. But there haven't been any new cases in our district, Teignbridge, for nearly 3 weeks now at all.
Yeah. Right.
Just touching wood.
Yeah. We'll have to see after this whole sort of holiday, this where they've loosened the lockdown thing, whether that'll make a difference to the situation.
Yeah, I do.
It takes a few weeks for it to sort of surface, doesn't it?
Yeah, the numbers haven't really gone down very much, have they? The numbers of deaths every day and stuff. It's really... Carrie hasn't been in any shop for about 14 weeks. Oh my Lord! You're going to be back.
I've literally only been in Sainsbury's here, and the Boots here, and the post office. That's the only 3 places I've been in all that time. It's
Sorry.
The butchers, the local ones, if you want to get meat, you order it through their Facebook page or phone them or whatever, and then they give you a time to pick up. And you go, and they've got the doors all shielded off and everything, and there's just a little table, and you put your card on a tray on the table. They take your card, pay, and then they put the bag on the little table, and you get it. And it's all so weird. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, when I walked into town this morning, I deliberately walked down to one end and walked all the way up through town to go to Boots because I was interested just to look at the shop windows and stuff, and see walk past people and stuff. And a lot of the little independent cafes have opened doing that sort of thing that you just said, with a table in the door, doing takeaway teas and coffees, and pay with card and take it away and that sort of thing. And you can't blame that they're going to make a bit of money that way, aren't they? It must be desperate times. So my sister-in-law has a cafe bar in Bournemouth, and they've just reopened doing takeaway only with sort of deli bits and pieces. I think people have just got to find a different way forward, haven't they, really?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at our chat here, so Carrie hasn't been in the shop for 14 weeks. Mandy hasn't been in the shop since mid-March. Carol says she hasn't left the house since before Christmas. And then Joan says she's not been in any shops or anywhere for 16 weeks. And Joan says, I haven't been out either, thank goodness for online shopping. I just can't imagine Carol says, I've been shielding and haven't left the house since before Christmas. That's hard, isn't it? That's tough. Yeah,
I'm so desperate for normal. I'm so desperate for it. We saw our friends for the first time, just literally on their doorstep, and went and chatted to them. And when they relaxed the rules, we've arranged to see them this Saturday for the first time. They're going to come to us and we're going to have a barbecue. And bloody hell, all the Saturdays of lovely weather, and this Saturday's set to be the worst day's weather for about 2 months. And it's really difficult because the government have said don't bring social arrangements inside, and I do understand that. Also, the husband has worked all the way through. He's a key worker and has had to work, and it seems so. And I'm seeing my parents next week, so there's that. So I think the sensible thing is really going to be to cancel it, or sit in the garden in the rain with blankets and stuff and an umbrella.
Oh, I know, but I mean, if you are going to see your parents, it's a big deal, isn't it?
It is, but then how long are we prepared to keep living our lives like this just in case? There's that balance, isn't it? And I know for me, hats off to all you guys who haven't been anywhere for weeks and weeks, months. But I know for me, I would have gone mental. And I live in a really great big house, so I'm lucky. I'm really lucky, I know that. But I crave normality.
Yeah, I don't know what I crave. This is the weird thing, because I was thinking about it this morning, thinking, what is it that I crave? Because there's 5 of us in the house, so it can't be company.
It's not your family.
Maybe that's yeah, I don't know. Just routine, I guess. A normal routine of getting up, working all day, and then finish your day, and then that sort of just everydayness that I really miss.
Everydayness. And I've said it quite a lot in my weekly vlogs, and having things to look forward to, that's something that I've really struck, because there's just this sensation of you can't go, there's nothing to look forward to. There's no holidays, there's no weekends away, there's no going out for a meal, there's no meet your friend for coffee. It is coming back slowly, but that is something that I struggle with, and I think maybe that's why I'm so desperate to get out. And going to Matalan was like the most exciting thing that's happened to me for a month.
I think though with my business as well, I because there's that whole uncertainty about how it's going to go and how I'm going to move forward, and yet I can't plan anything because I don't know what the situation is. So normally you'd come up with a business plan and you'd think, right, well, this is what we'll do. This isn't working, or this isn't working, so we'll plan this, and this is a strategy. But you can't even do that, because you don't know at any point things will change, and you don't know how much it's going to ease. You don't know how much people are going to be able to go out, how much people are going to start going in shops again. It's just all a bit.
Not knowing is hard, isn't it? Having all the control taken away and not being able to make a plan. I've worked all the way through. But I've struggled down to the bare bones sourcing wise now. I'm sourcing very different stuff from what I would really like to sell. It's getting grim. But there's a couple of charity shops that are opening on the 15th, and a couple the following week that I know of. Not brilliant ones. At least it's a sort of sign that something is happening that's going to make things a bit easier with that.
Yeah. I can't see. I've been looking at online auctions. A lot of the auctions have still been running online, but they've been selective about what they've been putting in the auctions. So it's been more of the smaller stuff, the individual items, which are the same sort of things that collectors will go to an online auction for. So you're competing with people who are willing to pay retail price. So that's why I always do better at auctions where you buy job lots of things, because then it just works better. But
It's hard with an auction for you, though, isn't it? Because you like to go and look through a box and hunt down through it and find a little gem, and then you know that box is worth a few quid. Someone else might not have seen that, so that's you can't do that with online, can you?
No, and they're not really doing those sort of lots anyway, so you couldn't really even have a punt on it much. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I have got stock, so it's not the end of the world.
You've got plenty of people watching you from behind you.
Carrie says she rebooked a holiday for next year, so hopefully something to look forward to.
Oh, that's
yes, good. Excellent, well done. Joan, I was very excited when you went to Matalan, Caroline. I think we were all excited.
I was excited.
You went to Matalan.
But I was telling the girl in Ashley's office today who told Ashley that Matalan was open. Ashley came home and he just sort of throwaway comment, "Oh, Matalan's reopened." I was like, what? 7 minutes between me going Matalan is open and me being in Matalan.
Yeah, that was good editing. I liked that. Lainey says, I've been to Tesco's twice with Laura. I went to get something from another aisle thinking it would save time, but I dropped it. The looks, size and shapes of the head I got made me feel terrible. I already felt terrible as I couldn't get myself. In no way did I expect them to help, but I didn't expect the response I got either. I rang Laura, who was in the next aisle, and she came and picked it up. People are cruel. And I think everybody's a little bit stressed at the moment, so they probably don't show their best sides either, you know. Everybody's you know, sometimes I found myself crying at stuff and then I think, what on earth am I crying for? And it's got nothing really to do with that particular thing that triggered it. It's a
reaction to everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it doesn't excuse it.
No, it doesn't. That's a horrible feeling as well, Lainey. I think I've seen people growling at other people to stay 2 meters when I think you just, you know, when they haven't realised, and people making all sorts of coronavirus faux pas, I suppose you call it. But I mean, I myself have picked stuff up off a shelf that I had no intention of buying, not deliberately. Was I talking about this earlier in this?
Yeah.
I can't remember if I was talking about this on my vlog earlier. Picking stuff just because that's what you do, isn't it? And you pick it up and you have a look at it, and then you think, "Oh, I'm not going to buy it," and then you feel terrible putting it down. You're sort of almost looking round to go, "God, I hope no one can see me not buying this thing that I've touched." So I think.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody yesterday who works in Waterstones, and they're going to open up on the 15th, and they'd had a training video that they'd had to watch, and apparently, when people pick up books off the shelf to look at, to read, or, you know, to read the back or whatever, they're not supposed to put it back on the shelf. They're to put it on a trolley. And then those books will get wiped down and then re-put out or something like that. And he was saying the amount of work that's going to cause, you know, having to...
How can they possibly... I mean, you can't... The whole point of a bookshop, as opposed to Amazon, is you go in, you flip the book over to look at the back to see what it's about, don't you? I mean, you don't necessarily flick through it, although if it's a cookbook or something, you might want to flick through it as well. I have to say, I think that's... You've got the law of diminishing averages for the likelihood of catching the disease from a book that someone else has touched. I know that they do say it lingers on surfaces, but they don't really know how long. I think that's a bit far. I think either open the shop and let people.
Yeah, I suppose because I've got a shop, I know how it feels, and I guess big businesses are the same to a certain extent. Is you feel that sense of responsibility, and so that's part of my worry. Is that, am I doing the right thing? Am I, you know, by opening up and letting people in, am I contributing to the spread of it, you know? But I can't not do it because that's my livelihood. So, you know, I've put signs up, I'm providing sanitizer, I'm asking people to keep 2 meters apart. what else can I do? But there is still that feeling that I should be responsible for, you know. And I suppose big business have to be the same as well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, Ashley's he suffered agonies on whether he should bring his staff back, whether he should expect them to go on viewings. You know, it's so hard to know what is the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, with that, the alternative is that there's no business left, and therefore they haven't got a job, and that would surely be worse. And he also let the ones come back who were keener to come back, and the other ones stay off so far. But it's a tough one, the responsibility thing. I'm quite glad it's just me doing my thing at home. But
yeah, I mean, that in that way, I'm glad that I'm only responsible for me. You know, I haven't got staff, so I don't have that responsibility, but it's still that responsibility to my customers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anywho, we've gone all serious. We started off with like the whole, you know, hand cream, and we've moved on to, responsibility.
Now we're putting the world to rights. Standard day out, really, Kirsten.
Yeah. But next time we'll have gin.
Not this one though, not unicorn gin.
No. The real stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks very much for coming on.
It was really good. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you very much. Anyway, and anybody who's watching, as I said before, there is a link to my Avon shop in the description. But I do get a little bit of commission, just so you're aware. And thank you to anybody that has ordered from me before, because I don't understand the site completely. It does say message them to say thank you, and I can't work out how to do that. So I haven't been able to message people to say thank you because I can't work out how to do it. But yeah, thank you very much. And I would definitely recommend some of those products. All clear.
I'll try and make some chili powder on so Ashley's not looking, Daryl.
Brilliant idea. Film it and see. All right, take care.
Bye.